It's Ben. I'll be bantering with you this morning.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
You guys are going to be using a Quantum this spring. What are some of the things that you saw in the Quantum that caught your eye, I guess, that really made you interested in it?
Well, first time I seen it was at the Farm Progress Show in Regina, and right away when you walk up to it, it's the ruggedness of the machine. You can just tell by looking at it from a distance even. It's a very rugged, well-built machine. You take a closer look at it, you're familiar with the welding and the design of it. It's going to be strong. I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind when you see this. Second thing I noticed, I guess, was the big flotation tires. In the past, we always had the largest tire option on most machines when we buy them, but still in wet years and the things that we've gone through in the past, seems like you can never have enough rubber on the ground in certain situations when we're forced to go in smaller seating windows all the time. So I think the flotation tires was another driving factor. If we get some wet years back again, I think it'll maybe help a little bit in draft load and obviously fewer ruts in the field. Another thing we noticed, just the sleekness of the design. When you look at the C2 and you look at the Quantum, it's just a drastic difference on the routing of the hoses, whether it be hydraulic and air lines. Everything is compact, sleek, compressed into the unit. Don't think there's going to be, from what I see, any issues on kinking of hoses when winging up, and transport looks like it folds up nice and even and should be fairly narrow on the road. There's some narrower roads now after all the wet years as well, and being some situations where you have to meet somebody on the road, there's nowhere to pull over. That could be a safety thing as well. When we looked at it further, we noticed there's no U-bolts and there's just way less parts when you first look at it. So we looked at that and seen that, if there's less parts on there, there's really theoretically less to go wrong. So as a maintenance thing and a serviceability thing, we see that as less potential downtime in the field. Even if things aren't breaking, maybe bolts are just getting loose and you're having to tighten them up to keep your machine set properly. So I think there's servicing and maintenance improvements there for sure. They have the Shield Core opener on there now, so we had put that on our C2 last year, and we're quite happy with how that opener worked. The sleekness of it all with the IP boot seemed to do a little less soil fracturing than our past boot that we had, our paired row, and we could definitely notice better wearability on the leading shank because we do have a lot of sandier kind of type soils in some situations, very abrasive, especially in the wetter years. So after one season on in the Shield Core, we seem to notice that it's going to last at least probably twice as long as what the old openers were. And because of that, as you run it, they are still wearing out, but I think we're going to get better seed placement because of the way the openers wear and, better fertilizer separation. Another thing we noticed with the stainless steel manifold, I think that's a very good option, as far as rusting out and things like that. The stainless steel piping they have incorporated into them as well. The way they latch and unlatch, if you do have a plug manifold, looks very quick to diagnose and take apart if need be. Yeah, and we just see it as, overall, it's a better built machine. We see that translating into better resale. So on our end of the farm here, we see that as a better return on investment. We're buying a better machine, and someday when we do trade it in, we're quite confident that we're going to get a good dollar for that, and that's very reassuring for us.
Well, yeah, sounds awesome, actually, Ryan. I have to say thanks. You just, I don't know if I can ask any more questions because you really summarized it so perfectly.